Government describes the economic growth outlook as precarious. It expects the local economy to grow at 0.8% this year, lower than February forecasts. Dragging the economy are the electricity crisis, poor rail transport and port performance, high inflation and rising borrowing costs, as well as an unsupportive global environment. Government says load shedding was worse this year compared to last year, and it's expected to continue for the remainder of the year, but it says it should ease in the next year. The elevated uncertainty and low levels of business confidence will likely translate to delays in investment and employment decisions by companies. These conditions spell bad news for employment creation and revenue collection.
Our public finances are significantly weaker. The main budget deficit has increased by 54.7 billion compared with the 2023 budget. With the 2023 budget estimate, this reflects lower revenue performance, higher public service wages, wage bill cost, and higher debt service cost. The main reason for this are a sharp fall in corporate income tax, particularly from the mining sector.
Revenue collection is slow, hurt by corporate tax collections, mainly from the mining sector that has underperformed due to falling commodity prices. Revenue collection is projected to be 57 billion rand below the February estimates. The minister says there will be a proposal for tax measures to raise revenue of 15 billion rand in the next financial year. Budget deficit is higher at 4.9% for this year, up from the 4% estimated in the February budget. This results in the need to borrow more. Debt to GDP will increase to 75% this year. Out of every 1 rand collected, 20 cents goes to debt, translating to 20% of the main budget going to servicing debt, bigger than the budget for education or health.
A fiscal consolidation is not yet assured, even with the modest growth expectations that Treasury has put in place. We would need a strong growth agenda that is underlined by implementation of a strong economic reforms. Other than what Treasury says, we actually need to see the broader government implementing much more aggressively in order to achieve the fiscal consolidation. Absent that, we will potentially continue to have issues with our debt repayments, but also potentially a fiscal crisis down the line.
Meanwhile, expenditure is higher due to the public sector wage bill that has grown more than was expected and rising borrowing costs, pushing up debt servicing costs. Government spending is expected to grow by an annual average of 4.6%, from 2.3 trillion to 2.6 trillion.
We've got to be optimistic. It's not going to be easy to achieve those numbers, but we can only hope for a better economic environment that will basically enable the government to collect the tax numbers mentioned there, and also to contain the increase in expenditure.
The Social Relief of Distress grant will be extended by another year. Government says it will review and reconfigure executive functions to address duplication of functions, close ineffective programs, and consolidate departments and institutions. Gloria Sefakomosi, SABC News, Cape Town.